In 2021, Hong Kong society returned to stability in general, following the implementation of the Hong Kong National Security Law. However, the Hong Kong police force has not put its guard down. Instead, it remains vigilant and prepared at all times in fulfilling the important mission of upholding national security, as well as maintaining public order in Hong Kong, to ensure citizens can live in a safe, secure, and prosperous society. Starting from a decade ago, the number of criminal offenses recorded had been on a decline year after year. However, as the city was engulfed by a wave of riots in 2019, the idea of blatantly flouting the law reared its head and gained traction, causing the number of criminal offenses to rebound in 2019 and 2020. Fortunately, stability was restored in society last year, which made it possible for anti-riot officers to return to the front line to fight crime. The entire force remained steadfast in fulfilling its duties to fight crime, which resulted in a significant drop of around 30 to 60% in violent crimes, such as robbery, burglary, arson, and wounding. In particular, the detection rates for robberies and burglaries were nearly 70% and 30% respectively, hitting a decade high. However, on the contrary, 2021 saw an increase in the numbers of cases of deception, offenses involving dangerous drugs, and other crimes. The first 10 months of the year saw over 15,000 scams, representing a further increase of 20% when compared to the same period in the prior year. Nearly 70% of these scams were committed via the internet. Among them, scams involving compensated dating, cyber romance, online job hunt, and investment fraud mushroomed as they shot up 80 to nearly 400% from the amount recorded in the same period in the prior year. The preemptive strikes of the force led to the neutralization of multiple scam syndicates. Between January and October last year, over 2,000 persons were arrested, and the Anti-Deception Coordination Center successfully intercepted a total of 1.29 billion Hong Kong dollars that was en route to the pockets of scammers, cutting down on the losses incurred by individuals and companies. The force designated April last year as the Anti-Deception Month, engaging the public with brand new promotional videos and launching the website ADCC One Stop platform to offer one-stop services as well as tips in multimedia formats to help citizens fend off scammers.
Why is this little grape on TV? Because I am here to alert citizens to scams.
To further alert citizens to scams, the force kept deploying its anti-deception mascot, the little grape, to propagate anti-deception messages. For example, the little grape graced TV screens in homes and even projection screens in cinemas for the first time last year. The little grape is beloved by children, and we hope to encourage interaction between the mascot and kids to cultivate scam awareness in the young minds, so children can learn to ward off scammers and fight crime with the police from a young age. The little grape even ventured into the community to appeal to citizens to beware of scammers. Meanwhile, the first 10 months last year saw more than 1,200 serious drug offenses, representing a 45% year-on-year increase. Among the cases, more than 300 involved cannabis, representing a 74% jump from the same period in the prior year. What's even more worrying is the fact that 360 youngsters aged between 10 and 20 were arrested for relevant offenses, 36% more than the number recorded in the same period in the prior year. Young people are often unaware of the hazards of drugs. Yet, a former district councillor openly professed his use of cannabis on social media, sugarcoating the use of narcotics. Some youngsters wish to make a quick buck, a psyche that drug traffickers often tap into, to lure these young people into drug trafficking. In November, a secondary 3 student was arrested on suspicion of trafficking in 27 million Hong Kong dollars worth of cocaine. He was merely 14 years old at the time. Many youngsters may not know that drug trafficking is indeed a serious offense, and that they would not be given lenient sentences because of their young age. A case in point is a 15-year-old girl who was sentenced to 17.5 years in jail upon her conviction for drug trafficking, a very heavy sentence reflecting the gravity of the offense. In fact, youngsters who try to push their luck by breaking the law will only end up with a lifetime of regret. To shelter society and our next generation from the harms of drugs, the police continue to take resolute and proactive law enforcement action. In the first 10 months of the year, the police detected over 1,200 cases involving dangerous drugs, exceeding the number of cases in the same period in the prior year by nearly 50%. If any defendant is found to have exploited any juvenile for drug trafficking, the police would even invoke the Dangerous Drugs Ordinance to appeal to the courts for enhanced sentencing. Together, all sectors of society should let youngsters know the serious repercussions of drug trafficking and warn them against breaking the law. Attaching great importance to the welfare of youngsters and children, the police have been working closely with stakeholders including schools, parents, teachers, and non-profit organizations to strengthen education on relevant issues. In October, the police and different sectors of society joined hands to kickstart a 7-week child protection campaign called Let's Talk, featuring a series of activities and talks to raise public awareness of the importance of protecting all children and calling attention to the mental well-being of their carers to ensure our next generation can grow up in a healthy environment. Not only does the force continue to attend to the needs of youngsters and children, it also spares no effort in enforcing the law. Indeed, police officers execute their duty in a myriad of environments and scenarios day in, day out, exposing themselves to different levels of risks. In the past year, a police officer even lost her life in the line of duty. The incident shed light on the risks entailed in marine duties. However, the force remained undaunted and even stepped up its collaboration with fellow law enforcement agencies in Hong Kong and across the border, mounting large-scale anti-smuggling operations and cracking numerous crime syndicates. Meanwhile, the police also conducted terrestrial law enforcement action, seizing a large amount of engines and retrofitted speedboats, etc. In fact, not only do police officers face day-to-day challenges when enforcing the law, they even have to tackle criminals who attempt to threaten national security. With external forces still itching to poison the well last year, some individuals attempted to use means of soft resistance to incite others to break the law. On the 1st of July, an appalling lone wolf attack occurred in Causeway Bay, waged by a 50-year-old man who stabbed a police officer with a knife, then fatally stabbed himself in the chest. The police officer sustained serious injuries. What's even more worrying is the fact that some people glorified the atrocity, which sent the wrong message to society. Some youngsters were even misled and used as pawns to support and even engage in acts of terrorism. Indeed, society strongly condemns such speeches and narratives romanticizing the use of violence. In less than a week after the attack, the police annihilated a group calling for Hong Kong's independence from mainland China. In the operation, the police arrested 14 persons, including many youngsters who were used as stooges to orchestrate terror attacks, on suspicion of manufacturing explosives with intent to destroy public facilities. Given the indiscriminate nature of explosives, had the police not intervened and foiled their plot in time, the consequences could have been dire, as casualties might not only be law enforcement officers, but also innocent civilians. To shield members of the public from terror attacks, the police must thwart homegrown terrorist activities that have become increasingly elusive. In 2021, the police continued to strengthen its counterterrorism drills and actively participated in interdepartmental counterterrorism exercises to enhance officers' response capabilities. Stakeholders, including citizens, were also invited to participate in the drills to enhance public alertness.
We must stay on guard for potential terror attacks by preventing individuals from using fake news to mislead the public, incite hatred, and even commit acts of terrorism. Attaching great importance to enhancing the counterterrorism and anti-violence awareness of the public. The police actively invite stakeholders, including citizens, to take part in counter-terrorism drills, propagate these three-step self-help tip, run, hide, and report in the event of terror attacks, and teach the public to keep an eye out for explosives. The police will also continue to enforce the law with utmost professionalism and take proactive measures to nip all possible threats to national security in the bud, with a view to safeguarding the life and property of Hong Kong citizens.
The police will continue to keep a close watch on the evolving social landscape and gather intelligence to proactively combat activities threatening national security. Since its launch a year ago, the National Security Department reporting hotline has received over 210,000 messages. Such invaluable intelligence provided by helpful members of the public has been instrumental in helping the police detect crime after crime concerning national security, and we hope citizens can continue to come forward with information in future. Not only does the detection of cases related to national security require the assistance from everyone, solving regular crimes also takes police-public collaboration. For instance, the swift arrest of the murderer of a taxi driver in Saiwan was attributable to the spotting and prompt reporting of a suspicious individual by citizens following the police appeal. The police care deeply about issues that matter to citizens, such as road safety, which is an important aspect of our work. The police continuously deploy officers to enforce the law at traffic black spots. We keep an eye on the information published by concerned road users and act upon citizens' reports to rid traffic ways of hidden landmines that are running afoul of the law. Meanwhile, animal welfare is another matter of concern to citizens, and also among the issues at the top of the police agenda. In 2021, the police actively promoted its Animal Watchers program to bring together people from different sectors of society to visit different communities and schools to promote animal care and respect for life. With the COVID-19 pandemic still impacting the daily lives of Hong Kong citizens in 2021, the police joined the united fight against the virus across the territory. In the beginning of the year, the government unprecedentedly cordoned off areas to conduct community testing, with the police setting up cordon lines to manage the inflow and outflow of people. The police even invited non-ethnic Chinese members of the Junior Police Call to communicate with residents of ethnic minorities on the spot to offer assistance. Meanwhile, the police continued to harness its supercomputer to trace patients carrying the virus. Although 2022 is expected to present even more challenges, the Commissioner of Police Raymond Siu has every confidence in the force when it comes to overcoming all difficulties in the new year.
The year of 2022 will see two landmark events: the Chief Executive election and the 25th anniversary of the Hong Kong's return to the Motherland. The police will spare no efforts in ensuring the safe, smooth, and orderly execution of both events. Having started our planning and preparation early on, the police are both capable of and confident in accomplishing the missions. We will also remain steadfast in fulfilling our duties to protect members of the public. At the same time, citizens can do their part by spotting and reporting suspicious individuals or happenings to the police as soon as possible. Let's work together to put an end to terrorism and violence so as to maintain public order in Hong Kong.
In the year of 2022, the Hong Kong police force will remain resilient to uphold law and order and work hand in hand with all sectors of society to ensure Hong Kong continues to be one of the safest and most stable cities in the world.